So, a couple of weeks ago, we took a trip down memory lane and found some really cool hidden details in kids' video games. But it seems like we've only scratched the surface. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at 10 more really clever details found in kids' video games. As always, a like is massively appreciated, subscribe if you haven't already, and without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with the surprisingly good Madagascar video game. Now, in the last Details in Kids Games video, we discovered that leaving Marty on the treadmill would prompt several lines of dialogue, one of which was the talking zebra accusing us of animal abuse. Well, today's Madagascar detail isn't going to change Marty's opinion. After beating the ostriches in a race, if you repeatedly kick them, this will happen.
No, folks, you aren't.
Don't you have something better to be doing?
Knock it off, Marty!
You probably should stop kicking ostriches at some point.
So Gloria will say that we should probably stop kicking ostriches. I love this detail because even though she seems to be talking to Marty, she could also be talking to you, the player, which makes this really cool. Next up is Cartoon Network Races. Now, much like Garfield Karts in the last video, Cartoon Network Races isn't going to be challenging Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing for the crown of the best kart racer that you can play. But it's still pretty decent. A big part of its charm is the cast of familiar characters, with players being able to mix and match characters from some of Cartoon Network's most beloved shows. Now, what's cool is, if you win whilst paired up with a character from the same show, the race-winning animations will be different. So here is what happens if Johnny Bravo wins a race with, let's say, Dexter from Dexter's Lab.
I told you I was good. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So both characters will celebrate on their own. However, if you pair up Johnny with Carl, Johnny's nerdy friend, this will happen.
Set course for the galactic core! I'm a winner! Wow! This is really neat. I mean, I've never won anything, and this is really, really cool.
That's not all. Depending on who the main driver is, the animation will be different. So if Carl is the driver, the victory animation will be this.
Gorgeous chicks form a line on that side. Beautiful chicks form a line on this side. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm not going to share each and every unique victory animation, but here are just a couple of my favourites.
Make way for Buttercup! Buttercup leads her team to victory! Yay, we won! We won because we're the best and we know how to kick butt! Please follow the engines! I'm delighted to meet with success!
Yes, thank you for this honor.
This is amazing!
Great job, teammates!
This just makes me proud!
I mean, I don't know if this is just me, but I find this really cool. Now, personally, I wouldn't call this next game a kids game, but after some consultation with experts, those experts being my own children, I'm happy to include it here. Now, despite its fast and frantic nature, to see the detail from Gang Beasts, all you need to do is stand still. So if you wait too long, a shark will appear to spice things up, attempting to eat any remaining players, which is a lot scarier than it has any right to be. Next up is the 2004 Incredibles game. Now, in the last Kids Details video, we discovered that browsing the menus in SpongeBob SquarePants Truth or Square would cause several of the show's characters to comment on what you were doing. Well, the detail from the Incredibles game is very similar, though instead of a whole cast of characters commenting on your actions, it's just ice-based superhero Frozone with something to say. Here are just a few of my favourite quotes.
It's cool. Catch you later. You sure you want to leave so soon? You might think about sticking around. What? Your mom calling? Come on, I want to play. I know you want to play. Don't you want to see Frozone in action? I do. You need permission to start the game? Now don't go messing with all those settings and stuff.
Again, in a kids game, things like this aren't necessary, but it's cool that it was added anyway. Up next is the 2002 Spider-Man game. Now, we did cover Spidey's PS2 adventure in the last Kids Detail video, where we discovered that Bruce Campbell would get pretty snarky if you didn't complete the tutorial. Well, lucky for Bruce, both of today's Spider-Man details can be found in the game's tutorial. Now, as you'd expect from a tutorial, the Spider-Man tutorial eases you in gently, with the basics of swinging and wall climbing introduced straight away. The next lesson is in the art of combat, and again, as you might expect, the goon we have to dispatch of is no problem for Spidey. Well, if for some reason you do die to the game's very first enemy, Bruce will say this.
Okay, well, you just got pounded by the weakest enemy in the entire game. That's not something you're going to want to brag about, alright? Now, luckily for you, you can practice here until guys like this are just speed bumps on the way to bigger bad guys. Of course, if you suck, you'll just stay here forever.
The other detail in the tutorial can be found after being taught how to hang upside down. If you hang upside down, but then don't move, this will happen.
The yo-yo, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a pretty full day, huh? So look, if you need to go over this tutorial, or if you just plain missed me, which, who could blame you, you can access basic training from the menu anytime you want. So, follow your compass and height meter to the exit. Good luck. I said, good luck. Good luck means goodbye. See, there's nothing more to see here. We're done, that's a wrap. You got it? We're over. I want you to understand, accept, move on with your life. For crying out loud, these people.
So it seems like Bruce has somewhere to be, as he will be annoyed you didn't just leave when he asked. It's really cool. Now, if I'm honest, Baldi's Basics isn't really a kids game, but I'd argue that the player base of the game was and is made up mostly of children, so I'm sneaking it in here. Anyway, the detail of interest from Baldi's Basics can be found in the game's demo. Before leaving the school to go camp in the woods with the creepiest teacher ever, you can find this.
No breaking the fourth wall in the halls.
Up next is the Despicable Me game that was released in 2010. Now, I wasn't aware that this game even existed. In fact, the only Despicable Me game that I knew of was Minions Rush, the auto runner that is kind of okay. Well, the Despicable Me video game does exist, and it's home to a ton of AFK dialogue. If you leave Gru for long enough, he will have various funny things to say.
No hurry, I'm just here chillaxing. Let's go. Your game is very important to us. Please wait here for the next available player. If I stand here long enough, I'll start repeating myself. You see the pause button, use it sometime. The level isn't going to finish itself, you know. Yoo-hoo, I am still here. Just look how patient I am being.
Now, bear in mind, I've actually cut a lot of the things that Gru said out, otherwise this section could have easily gone on for a lot longer. To have this many lines of dialogue in case a player put the controller down is definitely impressive. The final detail can be found in the Shrek 2 video game. Now, regular viewers will know that I love idle animations, and regular viewers will also know how often I say that I love idle animations. Well, the idle animations in Shrek 2 are kind of different. You see, the animations can be seen by doing nothing, which is exactly what an idle animation is. But the animations can also be triggered whenever you like, by simply pressing the action button while standing still. Here are just a few of my favourites. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.